Hello and welcome to LFC Focus. The announcement is finally here. The announcement that all Liverpool fans have been waiting for. Emre Can's leaving the club. Yeah, not really what we were after this afternoon. Obviously, it is Fekir Friday, and there's been an awful lot going on today, and I will come on to that later on in the video. But the big announcement that Liverpool have just made on their Twitter account and website and all other social media platforms, presumably, is that Emre Can is leaving the club, given that his contract has now ended. And yeah, we all knew it was happening. We've known it was happening for a while. It's been a very sort of slow grief process of denial and anger and acceptance, or whatever the 5 stages of grief are. Yet it's finally out the way, and I think, to be honest, it's probably the best move for all parties involved. I mean, yes, he would have been fantastic to have around next season. He wouldn't have been a guaranteed starter, but you can never really have too many players in those midfield roles. He would have been absolutely fantastic to have as a rotational player, and also stylistically, there are some games that favour Emre Can quite well in terms of the things he offers in midfield, his physicality, his drive, his strength, and also his ability to bring the ball forward as well. So it would have been great to have him, but at the end of the day, he didn't want to be a rotational player. We now know that that is the reason why he's eventually decided on moving to Juventus, because he sees himself as a starter there. I presume they've made some sort of guarantee that he will be a crucial member of the first team there. So you don't really want people stinking out the gaff. You don't want people moping around training, wishing that they had a bigger role in the team than what they've been given by the manager. I mean, you only have to look at our Champions League run this year to think that maybe, even though Phil Coutinho was an absolutely fantastic player, losing him has probably done this squad the world of good. You know, the togetherness that we've seen in this Liverpool squad that's been carefully fostered by Jurgen Klopp is incredibly important to the success that it achieves and the places that it goes in tournaments like the Champions League, and hopefully next season the Premier League as well. We'd love to see a title run. Togetherness is key to that, and when you have players like Coutinho moping around the place, it doesn't help. And if Emre Can was going to be a miserable sod all the way through next season, then you don't really want him around Melwood. So yeah, it's benefited Liverpool in that way, as much as it would have been nice to have him around. And obviously it is a good move for Emre Can as well, because it helps him out in his quest for first team football. So yeah, good moves all round, really. I mean, it's a bit weird, the circumstances around it, because I think when we first established that he wanted to leave and that he wanted to go to Juve, it was kind of because you saw Juve as the better club. You kind of thought, well, Emre Can is probably going to be a nailed-on first-team player for Liverpool, but at Juve, he was probably more likely to be rotational. You thought it was probably just because he wanted to be at a bigger team, you know, win more trophies, experience Italian football as well. But since Liverpool have got better and better and better over the last few months of the season, suddenly the narrative has changed, and suddenly it's all about game time. So it feels a little bit weird that while nothing's changed in terms of him wanting to go to Juventus, everything has changed in terms of like the circumstances and the parameters and why he's gone for the deal. It's a little bit odd, but yeah, I feel like it's also possible that he just fancied a change and he wanted to move away and he wanted to work under a different manager. So, you know, fair enough. He's gone now. Whatever, like I said, we've all accepted it. We've brought in some fantastic additions to the midfield as well. So I think, if anything, we are going to see a few more outgoings. I think players like Lallana and maybe even Gini Wijnaldum might end up going through the exit door this summer in search of more first-team options and a less rotational role at the club at the moment. So yeah, I think one of the most important things from this saga, though, is that Liverpool use it to learn in future about how to handle contract negotiations, because it's almost been like, you know, a free hit in the sense that we've got it wrong a little bit. I think we all at first wanted Emre Can to stay, and we kind of bungled things a little bit. We let the negotiations run on too long, and it ended up being a foregone conclusion that he was going to leave. So I think ideally we'll look at this now, and then when we enter into these kind of situations with other players that we are even more keen on keeping, like, you know, your Sadio Mane's, your Mohamed Salah's, your Virgil van Dijk's as well. Obviously that's not in the near future, but it will eventually come round that we have to renegotiate and renew those players' contracts. I think it's important that we don't repeat the same mistakes and we don't end up what we've done with them, doing what we've done with Emre Can, where I think we've maybe played a little bit too hardball. I mean, obviously I wasn't in the negotiations. We'll never really know what actually went down. But yeah, I just hope that we don't make the same mistakes twice. We don't leave the negotiations until too late like we have done this one, and that we just learn our lessons. And I mean, if there's one thing that this Liverpool transfer team and the general sort of board of directors and everyone behind the scenes at the club seems to have done, it's learned from their mistakes. You know, we had some disasters last summer with the Virgil van Dijk summer transfer saga and all of that, and we've definitely learned from it this summer with the way that we've gone about transfers. So yeah, it looks like Liverpool are doing that, and hopefully we can do the same with contract negotiations in future. So yeah, in other news, like I said at the top of the video, this was not the announcement that Liverpool fans were waiting until 5 p.m. with bated breath for. Obviously, we all want to see the Fekir deal deal get over the line. I think a lot of us were expecting some sort of announcement or confirmation around 5 p.m. because, as we all found out today, there are some mad regulations with the French stock market. Who would have thought that would be something that we'd be learning about over the transfer window? It is funny, the mad things that you learn about during transfer sagas. I mean, last month it was all plane tracking and German contract law with Nabil Fekir as well. This time around it's the French Stock Exchange, which does close at 5 p.m. English time, and apparently you're not allowed to make any huge announcements that would influence it in any way while the market's open. So Liverpool wouldn't have been able to make an announcement before 5 p.m. anyway. Given the sort of the nature of the reports that came out yesterday, it felt like the deal was pretty much done. Obviously there was a bit of a hoo-ha with the medical today. There was a lot going down on Liverpool Twitter. That was an absolute war zone of ITKs and anti-ITKs and all that. I mean, if you don't know about that side of Twitter, then just don't bother getting into it, to be honest. But basically, a few people said that he'd failed his medical because there were a few sort of niggles and problems with a knee issue and stuff like that. What actually ended up happening, according to the Liverpool Echo, was we basically wanted a second opinion to make sure, given that we're spending 53 million quid on the guy, that there are going to be no sort of hidden issues and hidden injury problems that are suddenly going to crop up after a month or anything like that. So there was a little bit of a stalling there, but by the sounds of it, he has passed his medical now. Liverpool got the second opinion in. It seems like everything is absolutely fine with his knee, and we're pushing ahead with the signing. So fingers crossed that is going to be announced sometime between now and the end of the evening. I mean, there's been another suggestion as well that Liverpool are going to wait until even later on because France are playing a game that I think is being staged in Lyon, and apparently they wouldn't want him being like booed off the park or anything like that because obviously it's in the city of his home club that he does currently play for. So, I mean, I can see that happening. I think the most likely thing is we're going to get a 9 p.m. signing. If the deal is boxed off by the end of the evening, which it hopefully is, hopefully I'll be getting a video out for that should Liverpool get the deal over the line. But, I mean, it's looking pretty much done. Yeah, apart from that, no other transfer news really. A few more players have been released by Liverpool, one of them being John Flanagan, which, you know, good riddance. Not really a nice fella by the sound of it, by the sound of the charges that he has been convicted of, and obviously not a very useful player to Liverpool at the moment. So yeah, he's gone. A few other people have gone, I think, but the main issues are Emre Can is gone. Everything's basically fine around that because Liverpool have bolstered their midfield a lot already this summer transfer window and have already got some fantastic options in players like Henderson and Milner, who hopefully stays, Oxlade-Chamberlain when he comes back, and Wijnaldum and Lallana and all that lot. And yet, hopefully Fekir will be signed between now and the end of the evening. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button there if you're new around here. Check out some of the other videos that have been out on the channel over the past few days as well. Don't forget to follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, and I'll be back hopefully later or tomorrow with some more transfer news and hopefully a Nabil Fekir announcement. Bye for now.